Hi everyone, welcome to the new module Operators Part 3. So far, we have learned the arithmetic operators, assignment operators, shorthand assignment operators, as well as the unary operators. Now in this module, we are going to continue with the remaining operators that we have left. We will learn the relational operators, the logical operators, such as logical and, logical or, as well as the bitwise exclusive or operators. Okay, so let's get started. First, let's start it with the relational operators. What are the relational operators in Java? Well, the relational operators, they are the operators that are used for comparing the value of two operands and returns a Boolean value at the end. The Boolean value is going to be either true or false. And we have 6 relational operators in Java. They are greater, greater than or equal, less than or equal, and not equal. Those are the 6 relational operators. Out of those 6 relational operators, the first 4 of them can be used with the numerical data types. Okay, they can be used to compare the numbers. And the last 2, they can also be used to compare the numbers, and they can also be used for comparing the objects of Java. Okay, which you will also learn them in the near future when it comes to the objects. And those relational operators, the precedence level of them are higher than the shorthand assignment operators that we talked about, but they are lower than the arithmetic operators. So this is the operator precedence of all the operators that we have covered so far. At the numbers 1 spot, we still have the parentheses, and then we have the unary post increment and decrement. Then we have the unary pre-increment, decrement, unary minus, unary plus, okay, and unary logical not operator, and unary typecasting. Then the arithmetic operators, so multiplication, division, remainder, and addition and subtraction. Then next we have the relational operators, the first 4 relational operators, less than, equal, greater, greater than equal. And then after those 4 relational operators, then at the next level of precedence we have the equal and not equal operators. Okay, and as you can see, shorthand assignment operators, they have the lowest precedence. Let's take a look at some of those relational operators now. Here in this first print statement, you see it is comparing the value 0 with the variable num. Num was num was set to 0 at the beginning. So 0 is greater or equal to 0. This one will return you true because in this greater or equal expression, there are 2 Boolean expressions. As long as one of them is true, then it will return you true. So if the first operand is either greater or equal to the second operand, then this greater or equal operand will return you true. And then we are comparing this variable num to the 0. Then we are comparing this variable num to 1. So the value of this num is 0. If 0 is less than 1, then it will return you true. Otherwise, it will return you false. So apparently 0 is less than 1, so therefore our output is going to be true. And when we compare this variable num to 1, num is still 0, and 0 is not equal to 1. But when you are using the equal operator, it will return you false. Okay? And yes, you could compare double number or integer number with those operators, with those relational operators as well. As long as the values are equal, as long as the Boolean expressions are true, then it will return you true at the end. So if I'm comparing 1.0 to 1, it is true, so it will return me true. And this equal and not equal operator, you could also use it for string objects, for other objects as well, not only for the numbers. For example, here I could compare those 2 strings. if they are same objects by using this equal operator. If those two strings are same object, then it will return me true, otherwise it will return me false. The reason it's returning me false is because Java is case-sensitive language, and here you have the lowercase c, that's why it's returning you false. Okay, and when you use this not equal operator, it will return you true if the two operands are not equal. So here we got true. And let's also do some practice with those relational operators in our IntelliJ. Please open your project Java programming and create a new package under your source folder. Name it module 13 operators part 3. And please create the first class, name it relational operators. Okay, so here is my int variable. Here is my int variable x. Let me set this int variable x to 0 first. Okay. And since the relational operators will return me either true or false those Boolean values can be passed to the print statement, which means the expression of relational operators I could just give it here, such as x is less than 1. Because this one will give me Boolean value at the end, and then this print statement is going to print that Boolean value. Okay, so if you look at this statement right now, x value is 0, 0 less than 1, which will be evaluated to true, because 0 is less than 1. You see, we got true. And what if I have this print statement, which is x is greater than 0? So x value is still right now is 0. Is 0 greater than the 0 itself? Therefore, your expression will be evaluated to false this time. Okay, because 0 is not greater than 0, right? So this is less than and greater than operator. But what if I'm using greater than or equal or less than or equal those operators? So for example, here if I use this greater than or equal operator to compare compare x with 0. You see, there are two Boolean conditions that are involved with this relational operators. Okay? And this relational operator will return you true if the first operand is either greater than or equal to the second operator, to the second operand. So the first operand that we have here is 0, right? Is 0 greater than 0? It's not. But is 0 equal to 0? Yes. So this expression, it's evaluated to false, but the second expression of this operator is evaluated to true. So as long as one of them is true, it will return me true. Therefore, the value here is going to be true at the end. So if I run this program, you see, I ended up getting true. So as long as this operator is either, as long as this operand is either greater or equal to the second operand, then this operator will give me true. And what about if I'm using this less than or equal operator? So suppose that here I have this x, I'm comparing it with less than or equal to 10. So x value is still 0 at this point. I have this expression less than or equal to 10. Is 0 less than 10? Yes, which means this first expression is evaluated to true. And how about the second expression of this operator? Is 0 equal to 10? No, it's false. So we have one true, one false right now with this operator, right? As long as one of them is true when you use this less than or equal operator, it will return you true at the end. And when do you think those greater than or equal and less than or equal operator will return me false? Let's find out. So suppose that here this time I am comparing this x with with 25. Okay. The x value is still 0 at this time. Is 0 greater than or equal to 25? Let's find out. So greater than or equal operator, it used 2 Boolean expression, right? It checks 2 Boolean conditions. Is 0, first of all, greater than 25? No, the first expression now is false, right? And is 0 equal to 25? No, the second expression right now is also false. Which means if both expressions are false, which means this operator will return us false at the end. Okay. And when I use this less than or equal operator, less than or equal, let's say negative 10. So x value right now is still 0. Is 0 less than or equal to negative 10? So let's check those two conditions of this less than or equal operator. 0 less than 10, less than negative 10 is false. 0 is greater than any negative numbers. And 0 equal to negative 10 is also false. So therefore, it is evaluated to false at the end. Okay. So this is our Boolean result, false. So make sure be familiar with those greater than or equal, less than or equal, those operators. The greater and less than those operators are easier to check, easier to tell if it's going to return true or false, because there's only one Boolean condition that those operators will check, right? But as for the less than or equal, greater than or equal, there are two Boolean conditions that those operators has to check. And regardless of what, at the end you will get a string result. And then we also have the equal and not equal those operators. So when you use this operator, equal operator, you could compare it with another operand. If it is equal to another operand, it will return you true. Otherwise, it will return you false. For example, I am comparing this x with 0. So x value is 0, right? Is 0 equal to 0? Therefore, our output is going to be true at here. Okay. But if you are, but when you are using this equal operator, if you give two different operands that they are not equal, then it will return you false. For example, if I compare this x with 100, x value is still 0. So in another word, the definition of this expression is 0 equal to 100. If 0 is equal to 100, then it will return you true. Otherwise, it will return you false. Apparently, 0 is not equal to 100, so our output is going to be false. Okay. See, we ended up getting false here. And we also have the not equal operator. Not equal operator is basically the opposite of the equal operator. When the equal operator returns you true, if you replace it with the not equal operator, it will return you false. Okay. For example, if I'm when I first give this expression, which was using the equal operator, it was returning me true, right? But if I replace this equal operator with not equal operator, see, now it's giving me false. Let's see why it's giving us false, okay? So the expression here means 0 is not equal to 0. 0 is apparently it's equal to 0, right? So therefore, when you use the term not equal, it will give you false. Okay? And what if I replace this this one's equal operator with not equal operator? This one right here, it was giving me false earlier. Okay? What if I replaced with the not equal operator? Right now the meaning is 0 is not equal to 100. Therefore, it is evaluated to true. So if I run the program, you see, I ended up getting true. Okay. And yes, all those 6 relational operators, they can be used to compare the numerical values. And the last 2 relational operators, they can also be used for comparing other objects, comparing the object values. They can be used for comparing the two objects, if they are same objects or not. So for example, if I have string object like string objects like CYDEO. I could compare it with another string object, Java, you see. Since those two objects are not equal, it will return me false. They are not the same objects. That's why we ended up getting false. But if I have this Java and equal to Java, if all the letters, case sensitivity of every single letters are the same, then it will return me true, you see. Okay. And you could also use the not equal operator to compare the string objects to determine if two strings are not the same object. Okay. So here, if I give this statement such as Java is not equal to Python. So those two are not the same objects. So if they are not the same objects, then this operator will return you true. Okay. So those are the relational operators. Thank you so much, everyone. See you all in the next video.